So how's that?
Is she coming? Is she coming? Amanda? No.
She didn't need that. She gets that in her sensitivity.
Perfect.
I didn't get it. I got to keep it. The last.
I'm not saying it's not. Before everyone gets too settled, if you would like to speak on an item that is not on the agenda, we ask you to fill out one of these little cards and we can help us keep track of who spoke. If you would like to complete one of those, we have 4 items on the agenda. They're on here. Anyway, just you've got a few minutes if you want to fill the card out and see that we can call on you to speak.
I don't see it.
I don't either.
Well, it's listening.
Just make a, that's all right, okay. Would you care to, I see a white car out there. I hope that might be Debbie or.
Could be Debbie. I don't know.
Yeah, can you tell who it is? I'll shift her.
Okay, it's 5:30.
Okay. Okay, we'll call to order the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for the town of Unicoi, regular meeting for January 2024. Happy New Year, everyone. Invocation was going to be Jeff Autry. Nick, would you cover us an invocation and then one would you lead some pledge? Okay, thank you. You want to stand?
Our God, our gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We ask you, Lord, to speak, Lord, to give BMA the ability to make decisions and stuff for our town, Lord. We want to ask you, Lord, to be with us as we leave here tonight. Just watch over and protect everybody on their way home. We ask these things in your sweet and holy name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, thank you. Roll call, Ms. Preston?
Alderman Lemon. Alderman McIntyre.
Here.
Alderman Radford.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Here.
Mayor Boland.
Here. All right, Alderman, you have a copy of last month's minutes in your packet. We need to do consideration to make a motion and approve or make any changes. So is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Any conversation or questions about minutes? Hearing none. Ms. Kessler, let's start.
Alderman Lemon. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Boland.
Yes. Okay, if citizens are here tonight that would like to speak on something that is not on the agenda, this is the time for citizens to speak. They have 2 minutes, and I'm going to ask Laura if she wouldn't mind the time for 2 minutes. Did we change it up to 3? Or did we go to 3? Okay, 2, 3. 3. You get 3. The items on the agenda are sanctioning the Strawberry Festival, the Freedom Fest, making looking at a budget item, and dealing with the petition, the recommendation from Planning Commission for a petition. We are not considering the planning code tonight. If you're here and you want to speak on the planning code, you're invited to speak now, because that isn't going to be a piece of business that the town is going to handle tonight. We will only be speaking on the petition. So if you have put in a request to speak, this is your opportunity. Yes.
I hope all of you had a chance to read the petition.
The petition comes later on the agenda, and I would invite you to speak then regarding
You
the
want to speak
agenda.
then and not now?
At the agenda item, yes,
Okay.
when we're having in discussion. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, who, not on, okay. Bill Collins, you got him, okay.
I don't want to talk about the petition, Ms. Mayor. Good evening.
Good evening.
I had a meeting today with a couple of fellows from the First Tennessee Development District. And we discussed those revisions that were before the Planning Commission. That's not a petition. And, they told me that they had other things to do. Besides, they were very gracious to me. They had other things to do other than do this. And they said, look, we got a request from somebody here on the town BMA to pursue this tiny home stuff. So I'm just curious who hit the ball? Who made the request? Who initiated the contact?
It doesn't lie with any one person when we hear rumors of people that are wanting to do these things, we start thinking about it. Do we want that? No. What are we gonna do about it? Do we have anything to protect us from that? No. Maybe we need to get some language in there so that we can protect ourselves from that. We're being proactive and not reactive to a situation.
All right, okay. As far as I have read the code in its entirety, and I read the proposed revisions, and my comment kind of is, Marion haste and repent at leisure is an old saying I guess I heard many, many years ago. I think that the gravity and the long-term effects of what the Planning Commission is considering adopting on an omnibus basis is such that it may pay to be very regrettable actions taken if they're taken as a whole. I believe that the board should look at it the same way. The BMA, I believe, should, in particular, the reduction of lot size, I believe, the R4 provisions, and I believe the campground provisions are things that should require a lot more input and debate and maybe a little research on the part of all of us before we start voting to just on an omnibus basis approve those ordinances. I think that would be a terrible mistake. And I did happen to pick up the newspaper this afternoon, the Overland Record, which is, I did it on Wednesday, and there was an article in there that said there was a concerned citizen that made some statements. Folks, that was me. I'm at least, if I'm gonna stand back and lay an egg.
Time, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Thank you. All right, anyone else turned in a submission to speak on any topic not on BMA?
Getting report.
Well, she says it's about petition.
Because she's
So-
the only other one.
Okay, and that's on the agenda, so we get the petition, okay? All right, then, moving on, thank you for comments. Were there any other submitted in any other form that we need to hear? Okay. No old business, no unfinished, no other new business. First is Resolution 2024-357. That is a resolution to sanction the 2024 Strawberry Festival for May 18th, Saturday, 2024, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is just official paperwork to create a paper trail that we do intend to have this event. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Kessler, let's vote, please.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Gordon.
Yes. And then second, new business very related to that is 2024-358, which is a resolution of the town of Unicorn Board of Mayor and Aldermen to sanction the Freedom Fest event for 2024, and that will be held on Thursday, July 4th. Again, this is a matter of paper trail, committing that this is what we intend to do. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
All right, any comments or discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Kessler, let's vote, please.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Gordon.
Yes. Okay, third new business, discussion and consideration of whether or not to increase the Unicoi Animal Shelter's 2023-24 budget appropriation to include or already account for the previous request and donation that we made to the animal shelter for $6,700. The board, I think, needs to give consideration, do we add that $6,700 to what was already budgeted as an allotment for the animal shelter, which was
Started out at 30,000. Then we did a budget amendment, and increased it to 1,500 because the Manor House closed, and there was $2,000 budgeted for that.
and we've already given that 1,500.
So we, 1,500 was for the 2 new cell phones, a year's service, upgrade and all that. And, so the other $500 went to miscellaneous donations. So this would be an additional either 6,700 added to the, 31,500, or is it taken from what's left in that line?
That wasn't part of the discussion the night they were here. And if we keep it separate from our already approved budget appropriation amount, we're gonna have to pull $6,700 from somewhere else. And if y'all will remember, we passed a balanced budget, everything was accounted for. And you're also aware we've had additional expenses for roads and all sorts of things. So the board needs to make a decision. Is this going to be part of the $31,500 that we have already given the animal shelter? Or is this going to be in addition to the $31,500 that we have allotted and we will intend to give the animal shelter?
Well, I think we need to keep it separate, because when we start doing the budget, coming up in 3 or 4 months, it'll show that our line will be 38,000, 37, 38,000, right?
But where are we gonna get that money from?
That's the key. Where's it gonna come from? Our committee? Can we use it for our committee?
I don't think that would qualify for ARPA money. The only other place I think that we could take it would be, we're getting more interest than what we budgeted. We could move money from out of Commerce Bank down to local government to get more money because it's only growing like 0.20 in savings. So I think we could offset it from additional interest that we would earn during the year.
And that can be set in any fashion.
Or we'll take it out of balance, what's in there now.
Well, I was concerned about if the town could afford to do this 6,700. So if we include it in the budget, then that'd take care of that. So I mean,
If we use
If we
this
use-
money to pay for it.
yeah, if we took this out of the budget, that we've already appropriated.
The line
that
item
was already
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and that way, you
Well,
know, we wouldn't have.
that cuts their appropriation down.
Yeah, I don't know if that
67.
could be considered fire or what, but, you know, I was concerned about the money and so that would be a wash on that.
And remember, we're still trying to get Massachusetts done.
So, you know, we wouldn't have to be concerned if we could afford that 6,700. So, I mean, I think that's,
So, we need to hear a motion.
and we would know exactly where that
Makes sense.
67 part of that budget went. Exactly.
I just need to
There's
hear
an
a
option,
motion,
however
however
this
y'all.
year too, and that way we start out the budget, we don't have to drag seconds and move back forward to the next year.
I need to hear a motion. That sounds good.
I'll make a motion, we take it out of what we've already budgeted.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Well, I think we need to think about a minute, you know, we appropriated 30,000, so which already we're saying they're getting, so we're gonna take this out of that, so all we're doing is giving their money to them center. Cause you're paying them by quarter, is that right?
Well, we've already paid the 6,700, we did that.
No, I mean, you've been, you
Yeah,
know,
I do it by quarter,
a quarter,
yeah.
so,
They've gotten 2 quarters so
Right.
far.
so, you know, if we take it out of that, and that must be coming up short at the end. That's just all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it like you appropriated them to start with $30,000 and you up that to 15, you know, another 1,500. And, you know, it is an expense that they incurred. And you're still giving them the
And they
same
took
amount of
money out of
appropriation, you're
payroll.
just giving it to them a little bit different.
And they took money out of payroll to pay for it before the time the employee had committed to give that money.
At 6,700, we just about take care of 1 quarter. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's 1 quarter would be what, 7,500?
How about the interest that you will be getting now? Can you use the interest
Now,
that are
Kathy,
coming now
usually
from the
you
bank?
get the financials, how much does their CD they got in the bank?
Right off the top of my head, I cannot recall. I don't recall.
I'm sorry, what?
What I said with the interest that you will be accumulating now, can that be used then?
For something else?
No, for
Yes.
this,
We-
yes.
You could, if you were going to increase that line item, an additional $6,700.
Do it this year instead of next year.
All right, let's not get too far off track. We have a motion on the table to consider this $6,700, which we have already allocated to the animal shelter for the truck that they had purchased prior to their request to us, to be taken out of their annual, our budgeted allocation. That's the motion that's on the table. We've had a motion and we've had a second. Are we ready to vote on that? Or where are we with that? We want to move forward with that?
Well, I guess
motion?
I'll ask, do we even need a motion if we're gonna take it out of what we've already appropriated for the insurance?
I think for paper trail purposes,
I think
it would
we
be
do.
good to have it
Okay.
there.
Because we've already given them the money, and we were up to the second quarter, the second payment to them, so.
Then paper trail if you're gonna do that.
Okay, so if there's not any further discussion, call for the vote, please, Ms. Castle.
Alderman McIntyre,
I vote we take it out of the budget.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yeah.
Mayor Moore.
Yes. Okay. I'm told it's starting to come down. Okay, discussion and okay, the zoning amendment petition. Board, I think at least everybody sitting here at this table tonight was at the planning commission meeting and was a first-hand observer of the action that the planning commission took on a petition to make a change to the planning commission ordinance related to square footage of lot size for building a home. That recommendation coming out of planning commission was to deny this request, and that is what is on the table for the BMA tonight to either agree to deny it or to vote no, to not disagree, to get into double negatives again, so I've got to be careful. But here is the topic. Before we start discussion, can we put a motion out on the table, based on planning commission's recommendation?
So I make a motion that we approve the petition to get it on the floor. So we gotta have it on the floor before we can talk about it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the petition. Is there a second to approving the petition? I'll ask again, is there a second to the motion made by Vice Mayor Cooper to approve, go against what planning commission recommended and approve the petition as it was submitted? Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, now we can open discussion. Alderman, do you have anything you would like to start?
I don't know if we got, the people that are here should be recognized.
They will.
And I don't know if we're far enough along, you know, to go forward with this. But this is what we need to do, is get it on the
Floor.
Well, we've got to get it on here on the floor to talk about it.
Okay, so we're making the right move. We're making the right move.
All right, now, Deborah, are you the only one that's turned in to speak on the petition? Is she the only one that's turned in?
Yes.
Okay. Come on up.
Will she be time?
Um,
Don't have a copy of it, I'll
but, yeah, it says she wasn't on the agenda. She's speaking about an agenda item, so she is. Okay.
Okay. I've lived in Hancock for over 40 years, as many of all of you have. As people move here, they find a lovely community where they can build a home, have a family. That is why I proposed my petition. We're not a town of tourists. I believe we want people who will stay here and contribute. I'm aware of the push for tiny homes along with camper/motorhome parks. This will only add to traffic, infrastructure strain on the medical and the police, bring in transients and others who will not contribute. Months ago, the board did not allow the budget in to become apartments. And why in the world would you even consider tiny homes and or a long-term mobile home site? Whose agenda does this benefit? Picture either tiny homes, just picture this, or long, short-term campuses across from the Walmart, especially at times of the Bristol racetrack. What if they come and they park their mobile home here and stay here just for the summer, winter, and go home on the summer? My petition issue would ensure that people have a home with a minimum floor size, 1,000 square feet, or a single. If you read it, it's 1, 2, 3. If you open Pandora's box, it will be hard to close it. The moral of Pandora's box was getting yourself into a helpless situation, which you ultimately cannot control. And that's what I feel will happen. I feel if you open that door just a little bit, my mom used to say, close that door, let it fly in. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. If y'all agree to do tiny homes and put that in the new zoning, as well as mobile homes/motor homes and campers. I mean, I can't even fathom what it would be like during race weekend with Walmart across the street and the liquor store. Police would have a field day over there in the sheriff's department too. So I just think this doesn't need to be tossed out the window with the trash. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay.
More discussion?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Since since I attended the planning commission meeting, I've spent many hours researching, trying to establish what those two planners told the planning commission, that there's a federal guidelines that we would be violating if the planning commission approved her petition. Based on their hearsay, the planning commission voted it down. Well, again, I spent hours researching it. I have talked to MTS. They are getting together and updating their original statement that's 2 or 3 years old on their website that states that municipalities can establish house sizes. I kept digging and found out that the little town of Ottawa, down next to Chattanooga, has indeed solved the problem by establishing house sizes. And you can look it up on the internet, and I've got copies of what they did. I also found on the internet, on the tiny home statement deal, and it says, how tiny can a house be in Tennessee? It says the minimum size requirements of a tiny house in Tennessee depends on whether the county or municipality adopts the building codes and zoning regulations in the International Residence Code, IRC. For Tennessean areas that embrace the IRC, like Knoxville, a tiny home must be 400 square feet or less, but cannot be smaller than 120 square feet. For Tennessee areas that opt out of the IRC, you need to refer to the local regulations for how tiny your tiny home can be. And again, MTS has a document, and they're the ones that leads us, that's a couple, 2 or 3 years old, that says that municipalities can indeed set minimum house sizes. And they are presently updating that document. Now, if you go into Tennessee Code Annotated 137201, it talks about grant of power. And in that TCA, it talks about, for the purpose of promoting the public health, safety, morals, convenience, order, prosperity, and general welfare, the Board of Aldermen, Board of Commissioners, or other chief legislative body of any municipality may, whatever title designated and hereafter designated as chief legislative body, is empowered in accord with the conditions and the procedures specified in this part and part 3 of this charter chapter to regulate the location, height, bulk, number of stories, and size of buildings and other structures, the percentage of the lot which may be occupied, the sizes of yards, courts, and other spaces, the density of population, and the uses of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, recreation, public activities, and other purposes, and identify areas where there are inadequate or non-existent publicly or privately owned and maintained services and facilities for the planning commission has determined that the services are necessary in order for the development to occur. As I look at that, that is still good. To me, this statement says that a municipality such as ours can indeed set sizes. I disagree with the two planners that was here that led our planning commission to deny the petition. They're not here tonight. I wish they were, because I have some questions for them. But again, I have found nothing that says we can't do what we wanted to do. And if you want to stop tiny homes, all you got to do is set like this says, set it 1,000 square feet, and the deal's done. No tiny homes in the county inventory. So I don't know if many people has went through and researched all of it, but I spent hours doing it. I've talked to MTS probably 10 times. Okay. And they're working on that. But right now, Ottawa has done it.
Before I move to our attorney to give a little more insight, 2 things I want to say. Number one, has anybody challenged either law's plan? Okay, it may not be legal, it may not be legal, somebody can challenge it. Number two, impasse does not lead us. Impasse is an advisory service.
Yes.
They do not lead us and tell us what to do. I just want to clarify those
Yeah.
things. Do you have any comment on the, violation of housing?
I'll talk briefly, I mean, I too reached out to the impasse, Roger, and I probably crossed the same conversation with impasse. And I've got, something from them that says that, establishing a minimum square footage is permissible, provided the minimum size is reasonable. And we're getting worried about what's reasonable, and what would be challenged, and that's one thing that they're, still trying to provide me some case law. Looks like, there's some cases in Middle Tennessee that, they're trying to compile for me, to help. And I think that, with, that information, the planning commission, as far as the code, probably would be beneficial, once I get all that in, because I've not had as much time as Roger to do the research that I put, the fact sheets, I put what case law I can find so far. I've reached out to other municipal attorneys, to see what they're doing. A few of them reached back, like, hey, when you get the information, let us know, because we're looking at the same thing. Not reached out, not received anything from any municipal attorney that has an ordinance, either way pertaining to tiny houses. So I think right now we're kind of getting the cart before the horse, and if you pass this petition, then in a month, the full zoning thing comes through, you may lock it out, you may not, I don't know. So I think as far as information, I'm still compiling it, sounds like Mr. Cooper still, getting information, I think it will behoove the, board and planning commission to have as much information, as we can provide to them.
Now, the same document you're referring to says that we should never exceed 1,000 square feet because it would be questionable. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
So I have done my homework there. I have done my
I
homework.
didn't say you
I
had.
don't understand. I have done the homework, okay?
It
And,
also references the international residential code, and all that.
but we have not adopted the residential code. We adopted 2018 International Building Code, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
again, it's unfortunate there that our two planners didn't show up, but I'd like to ask them some serious questions if they're not here.
well, they have phone numbers,
Pardon?
they have phone numbers.
I like face to face. I like face to face.
There was plenty of time to have a face-to-face with them,
I
so,
like face to
in an
face.
office, or call them to meet with them.
In a meeting.
So, I mean, that opportunity existed, this is what I'm saying. So, all right, guys, we have this on the table. We have a motion to approve or a motion to overturn the planning commission's recommendation and, approve, instead recommend the incorporation of the petition that was submitted. Albeit, I think y'all realize nobody except Roger is 100% that we're good to go with it, that there's not going to be an issue. I'll think about that. Any other discussion, and we'll have to discuss or call it wrong.
Well, what I would like to say that, if we do indeed set a minimum house size, all the things that they want to put in our zoning thing goes away. There'll be no such thing as tiny homes in it, everything will be gone. I'll just say that.
Can I ask a kind of sidebar question? What is the root issue causing you to have such distaste for a tiny home?
Because the people I've talked with does not want tiny homes in their town.
These people?
Yes, some of them, yes.
I hear other comments though, that they're not gonna be kept up, they're gonna be transient. It's like there's a value judgment being put on it.
Well,
And
we
that
won't,
bothers me. I mean, you can't put a value judgment. Now, right, she said it, held everything else about it, compared it to the
I can't
motel.
hear you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I think we're ready to vote. I think we're ready to vote. Ms. Gusper, call for the next vote. Okay, you're voting yes or no to overturn. If you vote yes, you're overturning the planning commission's recommendation. Instead of denying, you are approving. So if you vote yes, you're overturning. Is that right? Do I have the right?
The motion was to approve the petition.
Okay, approve the petition.
Can I ask one thing, do you recommend we approve it or don't, or do you think we need some more time from our attorney? Your suggestion to
I
us?
said is we gather more information. I mean, this is something that, like Penny guy said, there's not that many ordinances across the state of Tennessee involving tiny houses. So if you want to do it right the first time. So our recommendation is get all your information.
And I don't know what the rush is. I mean, if somebody wants to do tiny homes, why don't we let somebody, another municipality, you know, take it on and then see how it works for them?
We don't have to have the first two.
Okay. Well, wait a minute, we don't have anything to stop somebody from putting a tiny home subdivision in right now.
Okay, that's what they
That's
said,
the
they're planning.
Yeah.
Planning the
Okay,
other
that's
night.
the concern.
So was that correct?
That is correct.
But don't we have the square footage though, that they have to build on a certain amount of square footage?
they have to use our existing laws on footage of lots.
From each one, from the R, from the,
1, 2, 3.
and it's not down as low as the 5,000 square feet.
That's correct.
Okay. Petition, yes or
Now, Debbie, the motion was that we approve it. Is that what you said?
no? Yes, not approve the recommendation, but approve the petition.
Okay, so if we approve this right now, 1,000 square feet, it can be whittled down to 800 or whatever with the plans.
It's gotta be heard twice, and it's gotta pass.
Okay, is that correct?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, you can always go into this tiny home thing later if it works out in another community, right? Okay, so I vote yes, that we do this for now, right?
It's your vote. It's your vote.
Is that not what we're doing?
And our attorney, you're saying that we should just hold.
And I mean, I hate to be
Yeah.
You know, like I am, but you know, what we're discussing here, you know, people are here and it takes time. So if we do this and it works out somewhere else, then so be it, we can adopt it.
But can we also say?
We
like
can't
our
wait
attorney-
to adopt it if it gets two approvals in the BMA. It automatically is gonna go in.
But if our
So
attorney.
we can't not unadopt it if something changes.
Okay, but if our attorney tells us that we should wait to see what everybody else comes up with to make our own fair conclusion, right? That we do not, you feel
Well,
like
I
we
mean,
don't have
not
enough.
necessarily what everybody else does, but at least
We have the right information.
and the rest of the information for them to ask, look at the thing, you won't have a ripple effect. I mean, you're talking about changing the sizes of R1 and R2 and R3, increasing R4. So you want to look at the whole package, in my opinion, you know? So I think,
Sounds like we need a whole lot more information.
Yeah. I think we should hold off until we do get some information.
Okay. And we're voting. Do you want to hold your yes vote, or do you want? We've started the process of voting. So where are you right now? Do you
Look,
want
we're what Todd
to
says.
wait, or do you?
It
want
may
to
not
go?
even hold up.
Okay, so do you want to say no, or do you want to say yes? You've got to pick one.
Yes or no to approving the petition?
Right, exactly.
We're just on the petition.
More, if you need
The
more
petition
information.
Isn't even R4, it's just
Then you're
lot
not gonna
size.
say yes.
It is really hard when you've got double negatives and
So
stuff.
if we don't have all the information, then
If you wanna wait any other more information.
Okay, that's what,
But the thing is, you gotta remember, we have 2 readings of it, so we can always change it between the first reading and second reading.
But if we.
Right.
Yeah, but if you aren't, you don't wanna do it next month, and you don't wanna do it this month, whatever.
I say, so.
Kevin's gotta decide yes or no, he's struggling.
I say yes.
I don't know, I feel like that. I like to go with what the attorney says, we need more time, so I'd have to vote no, is that correct?
Yeah.
I'd vote no, because I think we need more time to just see what's going really on.
Yes.
You're going,
No. All right, that being done, I don't think we have a lot of reports to do. Do you want to do a report? Do something very, do it quickly. Hey, guys. Meeting's on, yeah, thank you. Go.
I won't go over the kitchen.
Okay.
I won't look at that. The thing that I would like to, go over is, the Strawberry Festival and Green Fest. Me and Nick have been talking about traffic control and other stuff, and, the construction of the gym is supposed to be done before then, as long as there's no other hiccups that they hit in between now and then. But with the progress of Massachusetts repaving it is during these festivals, then that's gonna be a lot of issues coming up, with traffic and parking, and those issues are already something that is a problem, and it is difficult to prevent. So I would keep in mind just those, and maybe we can look into exactly what stage the construction will be in at the time of doing this, because the main entrance for vendors for Strawberry Festival is on Massachusetts. And so if we have to take away that entrance, there's only one on, where the church is in that corner, that is, they're able to drive onto the field, unload and drive out. So that's gonna be a major issue with getting them in and out of the field. So that's something that we're gonna have to be strategic about, and prepare for, if that is gonna be, depending on where the construction is at, here, those two events.
Well, that brings up a good question. The town hall, where are we on the first section of getting paid for that for?
they never promised that.
So I think somewhere our board is gonna have to kick the amount and get somebody else.
Well, I don't think it's the paving company. I think it's the ARPA money coming from the county to urban utilities is where the holdup is.
Yeah, but we already.
It's where the money, that's where the holdup is. It's not the company, Fuller Paving or whoever we talk to. So
I don't understand.
that it's really difficult to understand when TDEC throws new expectations at you and another paper to fill out, another hoop to jump through.
Yeah, but,
It takes a lot of follow-up.
TDEC hasn't approved it yet.
yeah, but we approved $50,000.
We did, TDEC did, and they
It's through
supersede
TDEC.
us.
It's through TDEC and ARPA, and TDEC has not approved it yet. Is that correct? That's what we're
Yes,
told, they
yes,
say they
yes,
approved it.
yes.
That's the first.
That's the first.
All right.
First.
They told us that one a couple
I
of
think
weeks ago.
we knew there was an issue at the last meeting, but anyway. All right,
I have one more thing.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
In the packet is a example of the, pole banners that I designed. I would love some feedback, if this is something that you like, or something that you would like to change on it. There's some feedback on what you think about the overall time. Whenever you get to
Okay. Like it. All right. I think we probably covered planning commissions before. I think we about did. Is there anything else? You want to enter?
So I
No?
was told that next to them.
Well, and we do have I guess the important thing is, a work session.
Yes, there was a work session on January 22 at 5:30 at the Tourist Information Center. Right. 5:30 this coming Monday.
To continue to talk about,
And, the public is invited, they just can't speak during that.
okay, thank you.
There's no BCA meeting in January.
Okay, anything, please?
I will advise everybody, we've had municipal interstate, there is a slush release now coming down, so.
Okay. All right, municipal court, do we want to just read that report? How long do we have to read it, or do you want to, we can read it in our packets?
Okay, it's in the packet.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking to get everybody back on the road, get everybody back on the road, recorder's report. Unless you just want to read it.
No, it's in there, so. Let's see, we had a call from Deborah Higgins on Sunset Drive, that there was water running across the road, so we contacted, Terry Haynes to meet with Tony and Mike to assess that situation. As far as Dry Creek goes, where we are right now, Terry Haynes says it's a little bit cold for him to get out to meet with Tony and Mike regarding the length of paving that would be for the town of Unicoi. He did tell me that the sidewalls had deteriorated on that road and that they would need to be replaced and that he could not do that. I sent you all a copy of the estimated cost for that. It was $23,724 to replace the head walls. And if the existing footers can't be used, that would be an additional $7,280. Tennessee Guardrail is putting this in their schedule to replace the Marbleton guardrail that the tree fell over. And to replace that, it's $5,174. And Fagan Bridge, the guardrails there would be $10,598. And then the third cost estimate we got from them, I had him to do all these separate. The guardrail, Tennessee Street in Lincoln, and this is the guardrail that the tractor trailer kind of took out. We've got it on video. And so they're the company, the food truck company that did it, was waiting on our estimate for $7,852. And so they're going to pay for that. Just their insurance company will just write us a check for that. So that'll be good that we can get that replaced and not have to pay for it. We had extra asphalt the week last week after Christmas in December, and they filled potholes, gone through all the roads in the county of Unicoi, filling potholes with that extra asphalt. Since the windstorm last week and the snowstorm this week, they've dealt with about 24 trees, and they picked up 11 loads of salt from the county and put out scrape roads, and I think they've done a really good job. We're still working on paperwork for the home grant, trying to get all that stuff lined up. When they get that fixed, we'll have a public meeting. It will be held here and in the Buffalo conference room. And this will be for people to come. And there were no public comments made after it was put in the newspaper, so they'll come here to fill out applications for the home grant that we got awarded. Just to remind everyone that the Elected Officials Academy, that's going to be the 23rd through the 25th, 5:30 to 8. And there'll be foundations and charters, ethics, open meetings, public records, and finance. So Laura's going to set that up. Did you get the yes, that? Okay. The CD that we have is maturing actually tomorrow. It can be rolled over at Mount Carmel Bank. We wouldn't have to do anything, and that rate right now is 5.550. So,
How many months?
13. And that's all.
Thank you. All right, financial?
Our current cash is at $1,693,000. We've moved the 202,000 out of the savings that wasn't really drawing that much money down to LGIP, and it's drawing 5.380. Our ARPA funds are 475,641, it's drawing 5.380. Snyder investment is $107,193, and that's drawing 5.380. The new CD that we have is 5.5. So the one that's maturing tomorrow was at 4.05, and it's going to be at 5.5. You'll turn past the balance sheets, and go to your, summary financials for the month of December. I think we did pretty well considering that we had all our appropriations that got paid for the second quarter. Month to date for the general fund, we had $5,760 net income, and then year to date we're at $119,148 for net income for the general fund. Mountain Harvest Kitchen, month to date, the revenue was $9,024. Expenditures were $6,006. We took in $7,004 in grant reimbursement. So there's net income of $2,417 for the month. Year to date, the total revenue is at $222,816, and expenditures at $50,777. So there's a $27,960 year to date loss for the kitchen. Direct fund has remained the same, with virtually no activity. We'll turn to the back of the financials where the graphs are. Our state shared taxes, for December is $37,508. Year to date, we're at $226,531. Very close to the previous year, not much change at all. And then the local option sales tax for December was $82,473, a little bit above last year's $80,095. Year to date, we're at $487,896. That's all.
Tracking pretty close to the previous year. Okay. All right, motion, second to approve financials.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion on financial report? Hearing none, let's vote please.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Councilor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Any announcements?
I appreciate everybody showing up, and, I think we have a real good discussion. There you go, that's what we're here
True. All right, motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn, second, third, we're done.